never waste a good crisis. And when it comes to the economic crisis, don't waste it when it can have a very positive impact.
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste.
The way we're going to win over the long term is not just militarily. We've got to win over hearts and minds. And what that means is we've got to invest in countries that have no educational infrastructure, have no means for young people to get ahead. We've got to give them a stake in creating the kind of world order that I think all of us would like to see.
Stay tuned for politics and religion.
Well, believe it or not, U.S. tensions have put Jerusalem construction on hold. This breaking news: construction requiring the approval of Jerusalem's district planning committee has been on hold for more than a month in all parts of the city due to concerns about a new crisis in ties with the United States. So apparently the pressure is getting to Prime Minister Netanyahu. The story goes on to say staff members of the Jerusalem District Planning and Building Committee have been instructed to halt their work in an effort to spare Israel further embarrassing incidents like the March announcement during U.S. Vice President Joe Biden's visit to Israel of plans to expand the Jewish neighborhood of Ramat Shlomo in East Jerusalem. The architects say when they ask about the reason for the freeze on committee activity, they are told it is because of U.S. President Barack Obama. The stoppage is even affecting approval by Arab developers for Palestinian residents of the city. So apparently Israel's taking this approach. If we're going to stop approval of building permits for Israelis, we will also stop them for Palestinians. Thus, there will be no change of the status quo. At least that's what's happening temporarily. The Jerusalem municipality said Sunday it is showing sensitivity in light of the circumstances, but said there was no intention to stop the work of the local committee. The building and planning policy in Jerusalem has not changed and is identical to that conducted by all Israeli governments, the Bureau said in a statement. In the course of drawing lessons from the incident at the time of U.S. Vice President Joe Biden's visit to Israel, procedure is currently being developed that will ensure that an incident such as this is not repeated with respect to the timing of the release of proceedings of diplomatic sensitivity. Now, everything is heating up around Jerusalem. I cannot overemphasize to you, ladies and gentlemen, the importance of what is going on. The Bible explicitly states that the Battle of Armageddon, which is not too far away from here right now, it's not time yet, but not too far, the Battle of Armageddon is going to be fought over this issue, the issue that Barack Obama has decided to make a problem with the nation of Israel, and Hillary Clinton has now joined hands with Barack Obama in this situation. That issue is the hottest issue on planet Earth today, the city of Jerusalem. Now, the Bible says concerning Jerusalem, this is Zechariah chapter 12, I think it's verse 1 and 2. God said, I will make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all peoples and all nations that burden themselves with Jerusalem shall be cut to pieces. I would just like to issue a warning to President Obama. Be careful what you do concerning Jerusalem, because there's a mandate far above the mandate of the Israeli government and far above the mandate of the United States of America or any other power on this earth. It is God himself, and he has decreed that all people who burden themselves with Jerusalem and begin to go in and dabble with the affairs of Jerusalem, those people will be cut to pieces. So we're on very dangerous territory here. Now, you remember what happened. You remember that President Obama pressured Israel to quit building in all occupied territories, the West Bank and Jerusalem. Netanyahu said, well, we will put a 10-month freeze on building out on the West Bank just for the purpose of showing goodwill and trying to reactivate the peace talks. However, we're not going to stop building in Jerusalem. And the reason Netanyahu said that is because he wanted to send a very certain signal that Jerusalem was not on the table, that Jerusalem had been annexed by the nation of Israel, and that it was Israel's eternal capital and therefore was not even under consideration for being surrendered. Well, Obama objected to that, as did Hillary Clinton, and they pressured Netanyahu really hard. All this was coming down just when they were starting to restart the talks, the proximity talks. That's when Vice President Biden visited Israel, and the day he visited, there was this huge announcement, 1,600 housing units to be approved in Israel. Richard Dawkins is planning to have Pope Benedict XVI arrested when he travels to Britain later this year for crimes against humanity. A letter signed by Joseph Ratzinger before he was Pope blocked the defrocking of a priest that had been repeatedly involved in pedophilia. Since the letter was made public, calls for Pope Benedict XVI's resignation have been escalating. Will the Pope resign? We'll talk about it today on Politics and Religion.
Look, there are two things I don't discuss: politics and religion.
In my house, we don't talk about politics and we don't talk about religion.
I'll talk to you about anything except politics and religion.
I never talk about politics and religion.
Politics determines how we'll live here on earth. Religion determines how we'll live forever. I'm Irvin Baxter. I think it's time we talk about it.